This literally just changed my life. This looks like false. This is how? What? It's this L'Oreal telescopic lift, and I'm not sure anyone's gonna ever be able to compete with this mascara.
Michaela's alleged use of false lashes while reviewing a L'Oreal mascara in a sponsored TikTok post is not where our tale begins. It begins with the dawn of influencers in the mid-2010s on YouTube and Instagram. That is not something I feel the need to dive too deeply in on because I'm sure you guys are all aware at this point, whether or not you are or were involved with the beauty space on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok. Instead of rehashing the rise of influencers and the fall of particularly beauty influencers, I want us to examine two questions in this video. Are beauty influencers more predisposed to lie to their audiences? And if so, why? To get this out of the way, let's discuss this phenomenon's relationship with capitalism. Simeon Brown, author of Get Rich or Lie Trying, which describes the connections between deceit and aspiration on social media, holds the belief that social media is the most exploitative frontier of late-stage capitalism. Late-stage capitalism is a popular buzz term that I've been running into a lot more online. It was an idea originally analyzed by Karl Marx in his magnum opus, Capital, A Critique of Political Economy. He theorized that the fall of a capitalist system would inevitably be the result of concentrating wealth in the hands of the few. The first to actually coin the term late-stage capitalism was German historical economist Werner Sombart in his magnum opus Modern Capitalism, where it was used in reference to the economic, political, and social disparities associated with the aftermath of the World War. In modern terms, it refers to us, both the United States and the world's shared global economy, being in the end stages of capitalism. The reason I am referencing Brown's work is not necessarily because I completely agree with the statement. I can introduce you guys to the worst atrocities of American capitalism through the works that I've studied from global humanitarian economists, if you would like. But I'm referencing the work because the sentiment of the influencer being more and more recognized as just another exploitative enterprise. The connection between influencing and capitalism is undeniable. Though there are those who believe that socialism should largely replace capitalism, and there are those who also believe that capitalism is the best system currently constructed, we must all participate in it regardless of our personal qualms. The underlying theme of a child's statement of "I want to be an influencer when I grow up" is illustrating the enticement of willful increased participation in capitalism. In the last decade or so, online influencing has allowed people, particularly younger people, to experience wealth, rapid wealth when you compare it to other traditional career paths, in the manner that has been previously unseen. It is a bewitching environment to behold and to be raised in. The youth currently watch people of similar backgrounds rise in the ranks of influencing. From filming on the floor of their bedrooms or living rooms, these people, these influencers, are now flying out to Dubai on million-dollar brand trips. Influencing marries capitalism in not only the well-understood sense of product marketing and sales, but also in the emotional sense where the manipulation through identity leads to monetary incentive. Beauty influencers do not simply sell you their friendship, they sell you an aesthetic that you desire with the silent promise of perhaps you can one day achieve it as well. They sell you community and representation. Jackie Aina is a very well-respected beauty influencer within the Black community, and said community often props her up because of the lack of representation of darker skin complexions in that space. It is a mindset of we are you, and if you are seen, then we are seen. This video is largely not about the ethical responsibility or integrity of beauty influencers. It is about understanding what leads them to deceitful behaviors that they know should bring on a level of distrust and apprehension from their audiences. And notice that I said should, not will. Influencers often face no repercussions for their actions, but that is another conversation. All influencers are mini capitalists, but beauty and fashion influencers often stand at the top of this hierarchy because their effects are seen more quickly, and their tactics to gain and maintain their fandoms can be more insidious in nature. Money is an integral motivation in most of our lives, especially those of us who do not experience the wealth of being able to pay our bills on autopay. It would be an unfair criticism to state influencers should not be motivated by stability and comfort. As Brown stated, media platforms reward and incentivize lies. So in the Michaela situation going down on TikTok that people are calling Mascara Gate, rather than L'Oreal and the creator Michaela being immediately ghosted by the TikTok algorithm to ensure allegedly false reviews by a brand partner, and the brand who okayed said review is not seen by millions over and over again, TikTok is instead pushing that original video along with discussion reaction and call out videos to virality. I guess you could argue that there may be blame on the creators who choose to discuss the controversy, but TikTok, the host, needs to be scrutinized the most because the push was intentional. I'm not someone who is a fan of the beauty space. I don't watch reviews. I don't watch tutorials because they do too much. But I still found myself knee deep in this fiasco. For TikTok, engagement is up and people are staying in tune, so there's no issue for them. There are both positives and negatives to this type of recommendation-based algorithm. One negative being it incentivizes controversy and drama surrounding brands. L'Oreal will not be hurt by this drama. More creators, both big and small, are swooping in to give honest reviews of this mascara product. L'Oreal did not have to contact, set up contracts, or pay any of these creators. It's just free promo at this point. So what's to stop them from doing it again? Accidentally, of course. Legal ramifications and fines. L'Oreal is one of the largest cosmetic and beauty companies in the world. They most certainly have contingencies and funds for situations like this. L'Oreal, a brand that was founded in 1909, the brand with the estimated value of $38.3 billion, they were not going to lose their credibility because of this situation. Now, if the allegations are at all true, Michaela may come out with an apology to her audience, but best believe in that apology, the brand itself is going to get an apology from her. She is their scapegoat and they pay her well enough to take this L. So why do this? Yes, the influencer does get a check, but they still run the risk of losing viewership and viewership trust, effectively affecting their bags, at least in the short run, until everyone forgets about it and moves on to something else. According to a study conducted in 2020 called The Relations Between Deception, Narcissism, and Self-Assessed Lie and Truth-Related Abilities, the cognitive theory model of lying suggests dominance of truth-telling over lying. However, when no concrete victim is harmed by dishonest behavior, truth-telling dominance decreases and an intuitive dishonesty effect emerges. For influencers, this would indicate that when they are deceiving their audience in any way, whether that be through omitting key information, jading their opinions on a product, or not disclosing a sponsorship or collaboration, they are unable to truly fully comprehend the effects of their actions because their victims per se are not tangible. They cannot fully see their audiences as people, so perhaps they become more okay with the prospect of being less honest than if their audiences were standing right in front of them. There is so much discussion online regarding the lack of care towards influencers and celebrities and how people treat them, but much like how we cannot fully see them as human beings with emotions because they seem so distant and ethereal, they in turn cannot fully see us as individuals or as potential casualties to their lives. It is actually quite human to not be able to fully empathize with the pain of those you cannot explicitly hear or see. And I'm aware that these influencers could go ahead and search for response videos regarding whatever controversy they are in, but those types of works are very critically and correctly so. However, people often need to hear about their wrongdoings from those who they truly believe have their best interest in mind. And online, normally those people are their fans who comment on all of their videos, but those comments are just that. Comments. They're not quite people to the influencer. Nevertheless, just because something is a human response to do does not mean that it is the correct response, or a response that cannot be counteracted with the correct behavior. For the influencers, those comments can become the voices of actual people if they allow themselves to sit in the feeling of wrongness. Meaning the influencer has to actively work to hear criticisms by penetrating through their own egos and emotions. But we're not about to only blame somewhat innate responses on as to why influencers are sometimes untruthful. In certain sectors of influencing, the importance of aesthetic, of maintaining a distinct lifestyle, is integral in the influencer's work. It can be argued that these two factors are so essential that they can build entire careers based off of them.
When that influencer, his name is Josh, right? Let me pull up his TikTok. He was on TikTok. So much of his building up his platform was around living the high life.
It's the end of an era. My bougie Tribeca penthouse decided to go up almost $3,000, and while I am bougie, I'm not stupid, so it's time to move. I'm so excited to make so many memories in our new affordable home.
To sum that up, he had to move out of his apartment because he was subleasing basically through Airbnb and he couldn't afford it anymore. He admitted to us that he was living beyond his means. He had to do something else, downsize a little bit. Would Josh right now have 1.7 million followers on TikTok if he had not, for that extended period of time, projected that image of wealth? The answer is no.
But those considerations always come at a cost. There's a price tag always looming over the influencers. And when you turn to the beauty sector, not only is it a requirement for the creator to have the lighting, the sterile soft background, the sound quality, etc., the more PR they receive, the more their viewership trusts them. If brands see enough value in a creator to send them free products, why wouldn't the average audience member? We are children of capitalism after all. Working with brands and large businesses has always added more trustworthiness and credibility to a creator's platform, even though some may claim that they are very disillusioned by it. To receive free products, one would need to have a decently sized platform, and oftentimes one would need to present a persona and lifestyle that a brand would want to tie themselves to. Do you think that a beauty brand would want to sponsor me in my dimly lit folks library? Absolutely not. I'm not selling you the clean aesthetic, wealthy simplicity, or any of the other things conventionally south in mainstream society. With this in mind, it becomes a little easier to see how deceit can worm its way into a beauty influencer's channel or platform. And I'm not even talking about the obvious ways of lying or scamming. I'm referring to something as simple as cleaning up the corner of one's own home and making it align with whatever aesthetic is popular at the time. I'm talking about opening one's video with B-roll footage of how one claims to begin each morning with a 2-hour jog and 3 hours of journaling. These are lesser forms of deceit, which simply means the act of concealing or misrepresenting a truth. And I won't hold these factors against anyone, of course. We simply have to recognize that one of the adopted traits of the beauty community is immediately shifting one's own life to fit a mold. On the other side of the coin, the beauty influencers who constantly try to sell you relatability even though they are sitting on the floor of their mansions, the beauty influencers that morally position themselves as superior to others within the community, even as they wade through several years of their own controversies. Friedrich Nietzsche, father of nihilism, once said, "Beware of those who attach great value to being credited with moral tact and subtlety in making moral distinctions. They never forgive us once they have made a mistake in front of us, or worse, against us. Inevitably, they become our instinctive slanderers and detractors, even if they should still remain our friends. Blessed are the forgetful, for they get over their stupidities too." Now that we've discussed some reasons as to why influencers may lie at times and how deceitful behaviors are more cultivated in the beauty space, we're going to pull out a mirror and look at ourselves for just a moment. To use Michaela's situation as an example again, why were people so quick to bandwagon a potential cancellation? There are a few options we can choose from. Perhaps she has had a history of such behaviors. Maybe people are just tired of influencers publishing dishonest reviews. It could also correspond with the idea of late-stage capitalism, which also involves the people under the system's thumb being able to see clearly through the lies. Or maybe it creates community and unity amongst non-influencers. Or as some TikTokers have suggested, maybe we're just fucking jealous.
Why are you guys hating on somebody for lying? Granted, maybe she's lying, maybe she's not. So what? Even if she did put false eyelashes on, why does that matter? I know it's false advertising, but isn't everything false advertising? I don't know, you guys like to pick and choose who we're gonna pick on today. Sorry, if somebody put $200,000 in your face and said, "Hey, promote my shitty mascara," I don't think you'd think twice about it.
Or as Nietzsche would say, "I don't like him. Why? I am not equal to him." Wherever there is controversy of any kind towards any body, there's a percentage of those who will always come forward and say, "I've always hated this person," or "They've always been like this, so why are you guys surprised?" I don't think these sentiments are always untrue or unfounded, but my lack of sentimentality makes me think it is more related to the cognitive bias of the bandwagon effect, which causes people to think or act in a certain way if they believe that others are doing the same. This effect can take place for a number of reasons, too, including normative social influence or the tendency to conform to others out of the desire to fit in and gain approval, or perhaps information social influence, which refers to the tendency to conform with others out of the desire to be right under the assumption that others may know something that you do not, or others may understand the situation better than you do. I would put money on the latter most of the time. Humans are very driven by the need for community and solidarity, so this effect probably is not surprising to anyone out there. Opposingly, while the bandwagon of canceling Michaela or holding her accountable, whatever you want to say, appears to be the most popular thought right now, there's an even stronger bandwagon currently being formed. The ones who believe the criticism towards Michaela is unjust and unwarranted. Dissenting bandwagons will always seem stronger and more resilient because the people on board already feel like they are fighting against the grain. And we all love an underdog, right? But one of the most interesting things about the internet in this particular situation is that online, on social media, those who are on Michaela's side are not actually the underdogs. She has well over 14 million followers on TikTok. Most of those followers are either silent because they do not comment or because they do not care. Or perhaps they are disappointed with Michaela but just are not on board with the idea of ending her career. Her following has not had a drastic drop that I'm aware of. So the underdog in this situation, if any, would be those advocating for actual cancellation. But it doesn't seem like it, does it? When you type in Michaela's name into TikTok, you will see video after video of people calling her out on the situation, so it is fair for one to assume that the popular opinion is to dislike her for now. However, the silent followers and observers are often very forgotten in these kind of conversations, even though they probably make up the largest percentage of most people's followings. To be frank, I put no blame on anyone who feels negatively towards Michaela or the situation at hand or openly denounces her, though I personally don't really have a strong opinion either way. The vocal detractors of any controversy are always going to be part of the reason an influencer lies. This is not the fault or responsibility of the detractors. They presumably did nothing wrong. So here we are simply observing patterns of behaviors from influencers. When people are called out, when people are scrutinized, they will often address their detractors first. And online, we've known people to hide the truth in the face of their controversies. It is people's go-to reaction to double down on whatever statement or sentiment they are currently being denounced for, even if that includes doubling down on a lie. So with Michaela, she will more than likely double down and say that she did not use false lashes in the mascara review. If there is additional backlash, she may come back and retract that apology and offer more truth or what people perceive to be the truth. Or she may just wait until it all blows over and dies down. To conclude, my theories as to why influencers act in deceitful manners are as follows. The persuasion of capitalism, the infatuation with capitalism, the inability to perceive an online audience as true victims, and because detractors, or those with critical opinions, make them sweat. For beauty influencers, both the need and desire to maintain a particular persona, aesthetic, and lifestyle make them more predisposed to practicing some level of deceit, even though it is not always harmful. Beauty influencers are not immoral beings though, and the community is not inherently toxic. When your community and content revolve around appearance and appealing imagery, vanity, it can be far more enticing and easy to deliver on some of the more unfavorable behaviors of influencers. And that is it for me today, guys. I know this video was a little shorter than my usual, and I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you all for helping me reach the 1K milestone here on YouTube. I'm very excited for where this channel is headed and where it's gonna go, and I love that you guys are all on this journey here with me. So remember to like and subscribe because I have more deep dives and analysis on the way. And until next time, bye.